Hello everyone, this is Utpal Mudhu here and I am with my second video lecture on heat transfer. Today I shall discuss on the topic conduction heat transfer. Now what is conduction heat transfer? The transfer of energy from the more energetic particles of a substance to the adjacent lesser energetic ones as a result of interactions between the particles is known as conduction heat transfer. In gases and liquids, conduction occurs due to the collisions and diffusion of the molecules during their random motion. In solid, it is due to the combination of lattice vibrations and the energy transport by free electrons. Now, governing equation for heat conduction is Fourier's law of heat conduction. According to this law, the rate of heat transfer per unit area normal to the direction of heat flow is directly proportional to the temperature gradient along the direction. So according to this law, Q by A is proportional to dt by dx, or Q is equal to minus K dt by dx, where Q is rate of heat flow, A area perpendicular to the direction of heat flow, K thermal conductivity of material, and dt by dx is temperature gradient. Now the temperature gradient dt by dx is always negative along positive x direction, so Q becomes positive. Now from this figure we see that the inside and outside temperatures of the plane wall are T1 and T2, where T1 is greater than T2. So heat Q will flow from inside wall to the outside wall surface. Now thermal conductivity of different materials at room temperature. Here we see that thermal conductivity of diamond, actually a single crystal diamond, is 2300 watt per meter degree centigrade, which is the highest among all materials. And the thermal conductivity of silver, copper, gold, aluminium, these pure metals are mass lesser compared to the single crystal diamond. And thermal conductivity of stainless steel, which is an alloy, is mass lesser than this pure metal, followed by bricks, woods, water, air, etc. So the final conclusion for this table is that the thermal conductivity of pure metals are higher than alloys, followed by amorphous materials and non-metallic crystals, followed by liquids and gases. Next one is thermal conductivity and temperature. The relationship is K is equal to K0 into 1 plus beta T, where beta is temperature coefficient of thermal conductivity. Now according to this formula, we see that for metals, if temperature T increases, then thermal conductivity K decreases. Exceptions: aluminium and uranium. And here this beta is negative for metals. Same phenomena is observed in liquids also. Here also, if temperature increases, then thermal conductivity decreases except water. Now in case of gas and non-metals, we see that if temperature increases, K, thermal conductivity also increases. That means beta is positive for gas and non-metals and insulating materials. Now thermal conductivity of liquids and gases. The thermal conductivity of liquids follows this equation: K is equal to 3 sigma into Vs by lambda square, where sigma is Boltzmann constant per molecule, Vs is sonic velocity of molecule, lambda is distance between two adjacent molecules. Now this sigma, this is equal to R by AV, where R is equal to universal gas constant and AV is Avogadro's number. In case of gases, the equation is K is equal to 1 by 6 into N Vs into F into sigma lambda, where N is number of molecule per unit volume, Vs is arithmetic mean velocity, F is number of degree of freedom, and lambda is molecular mean free path. So from these two equations we can calculate the thermal conductivity of liquids as well as gases. Now Weidmann and French law. According to this law, the ratio of thermal and electrical conductivity is in the same for all metals at the same temperature, and that the ratio is directly proportional to the absolute temperature of the metal. That means K by nu is proportional to T, where K is thermal conductivity and nu is electrical conductivity, C Lorentz number. So according to this law, metals which are good conductors of electricity are also good conductors of heat. Exception mica. Now one-dimensional heat conduction in Cartesian coordinates. Now consider an elemental volume where the temperature may be changing with time and heat sources may be present within the body. For the element of thickness dx, the following energy balance can be made. Energy conducted in the left phase, that means this Qx, plus heat generated within the element, that means Qgen, this one, is equal to change in internal energy plus energy conducted out in the right phase, that is Qx plus dx. So in this elemental volume, heat supplied is Qx, Qgen is internal heat generation. So this is equal to total change in internal energy plus Q out. So we can write Qx plus Qgen is equal to dou E by dou tau plus Qx plus dx. Or Qx is equal to Q dot into A dx, where Q dot is equal to energy generated per unit volume and A dx is total volume, is equal to rho Ca dou T by dou tau dx plus Qx plus dx is equal to Qx plus dou x of Qx dx. Now by simplifying this one, we got dou x of dou T by dou x plus Q dot by K is equal to 1 by alpha into dou T by dou tau, where alpha is thermal diffusivity of the material, that is equal to K by rho C. Now this thermal diffusivity, this describes how quickly a material reacts to a change in temperature. The larger the value of alpha, the faster it will diffuse through the material. Now one-dimensional heat conduction in cylindrical coordinates. Here internal radius is r, intermediate radius is r plus dr, and external radius is r. Now in this system, again we can write heat balance equation is equal to rate of heat conducted at r plus rate of heat generation within the element is equal to change in the internal energy plus rate of heat conduction at r plus dr. That means Qr plus Q dot is equal to dou E by dou tau plus Qr plus dr. Now by putting these values, we finally will get 1 by r into dou by dou r into r dou T by dou r plus Q dot by K is equal to 1 by alpha into dou T by dou tau. And this alpha is again thermal diffusivity. Similarly, in spherical coordinates, we will get the general equation as 1 by r square into dou by dou r into r square into dou T by dou r plus Q dot by K is equal to 1 by alpha into dou T by dou tau. Now in case of three-dimensional heat conduction in Cartesian coordinates, here we can assume this elemental volume and the general heat balance equation is energy conducted in plus heat generated within the element is equal to change in internal energy plus energy conducted out. Now here energy conducted in is equal to Qx plus Qy plus Qz plus energy generated within the element is Qgen is equal to dou E by dou tau plus Qx plus dx plus Qy plus dy and Qz plus dz. Now here Qx is equal to minus Kax dou T by dou x and Ax is equal to dy into dz. That means this space, area of this space is equal to dy dz. Similarly, Ay is equal to dx dy and Az is equal to dx dy. So Qx is equal to minus Kx dou t by dou x, Qy is equal to minus K Ay into dou t by dou y, and Qz is equal to minus Kaz dou t by dou z. And Qzn is equal to Q dot into dx dy dz. And change in internal energy, dou E by dou tau is equal to rho into dx dy dz into C specific heat into dou t by dou tau. Now by putting these values in equation 1, we will get dou 2t by dou x square plus dou 2t by dou y square plus dou 2t by dou z square plus q dot by k is equal to 1 by alpha into dou t by dou tau. Now this equation is three-dimensional unsteady state heat conduction equation with thermal energy generation for constant properties. Now this equation 2 is known as Fourier-Biot equation. Now this equation 3, this is another form of this equation 2, which is unsteady state without thermal energy generation. Here q dot by k is 0. So equation 2 becomes equation 3 and it is known as diffusion equation. Now equation 2 and 3 both are unsteady with heat generation and without heat generation. And equation 4 and 5, they are steady with thermal energy generation and without thermal energy generation. Now in steady state case, dt by dou t by dou tau is 0. That's why this right side is equal to 0. And equation 4 is known as Poisson equation and equation 5 is known as Laplace equation. Now first solve problem. A furnace is made of a red brick wall of thickness 0.5 meter and conductivity 0.7 watt per meter Kelvin. For the same heat loss and temperature drop, this can be replaced by a insulating layer of conductivity 0.14 watt per meter Kelvin and thickness option A, B, C or D. Now in this problem we can write from Fourier's law that for a homogeneous wall, heat loss is equal to Ka dt by dx. This is mode value. So Q is equal to Ka dt by dx. Now for bricks, this Ka dt by dx is equal to 0.7 into area into dt by dx is equal to 0.5 meter. Similarly for insulator, it is K is equal to 0.14 into A into dt by dx. So in both the cases dt is constant. So from these two equation dx is equal to 0.1 meter as dt constant and A is constant. Now in problem 2, a plain wall is 25 centimeter thick with an area of 1 meter square and has a thermal conductivity of 0.5 watt per meter Kelvin. If a temperature difference of 60 degrees centigrade is imposed across it, what is the heat flow? This is IAS 2005 question. Now here Q is equal to K dt by dx, K 0.5, area 1 meter square, dt is 60 degrees centigrade and dx is 0.25. 25 centimeter thick, that's why 0.25 meter. So it is equal to 120 watt. So that's all about today's lecture. Thank you all for patience hearing.